and then it was just back to Twisted Fate. But if you're going to be leaving Ahri on the table for Peke, I almost feel like he's going to be taking it every time.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems to be one of the champions of choice so far in Europe, and it's so effective in Ahri if you play it well, which all the mid laners in Europe tend to do.
There's a couple talented mid laners in Europe, maybe a few of the world's best right now. Obviously, Lee Sin got locked in as well, which is a very powerful pick for Cyanide. It's just his ability to answer Jarvan. Lee Sin plays very well against Jarvan. He can actually somewhat outmaneuver him, and he's one of the people who can keep up with Jarvan early game, which is why we see so much of him against.
Lemondogs are sticking to a similar composition.
Sticking to their guns.
But they have taken the Zyra away from Yellowstar this time.
Yeah, but wasn't it Lemondogs that had Zyra in the very first game?
Yeah.
Exactly. They're not switching much up when we really think about this. Yet they're picking a whole bunch of circles right now into a very mobile Fnatic team, which could end up being extremely dangerous.
Well, we see Malphite getting locked in. That will be Soaz in that top lane or bottom lane, whichever lane he chooses to go. Ezreal possibly being selected by Lemondogs. That would be changing it up.
Ezreal has been sneakily missing from this whole thing. And I think there's a reason for that. These guys aren't playing Ezreal anymore. They're playing Ashe, Caitlyn, Varus, Twitch. More so an MF. They're worried about the turrets of damage right now. The mid laners are all about kind of assassination right now, so they don't necessarily need that hyper-mobile assassinate or like sneaky AD carry. They want their AD carry to do damage or start a fight.
Looking at Kog'Maw, we did see Gambit using Kog'Maw yesterday. I believe they're going to change it away from that one. Tabs going through the motions. Will it be Caitlyn that gets it locked in the end? Well, Twisted Fate is suddenly selected. That one may get locked in. It didn't work out amazingly for Nukeduck. It was starting to, though, but they just didn't get time. The rest of the team couldn't compete, and this has been the story of the game. You know, Nukeduck and Peke, they go off on their lanes, they do their own thing, and that 4v4 battle is just being lost by Lemondogs.
Yeah, the four of Fnatic who are not the mid laner are doing fantastically, and I really wonder now, it is the Ezreal to switch things up, and I wonder what support Fnatic's going to be going to deal with Ashe. It is Sona, because Ashe without Zyra is a much different beast. It's no longer as combo effective. Now it's crescendo to arrow, which actually you don't get as many shots. It's much more telegraphed in that lane. Plus against an Ezreal, it becomes a lot more difficult to land as well, which I think is one of the big reasons Tab swapped away from something like Vayne, is because he was getting pounded by those Ashe arrows, and that won't necessarily happen with Ezreal.
So let's look at the two team comps. Let's talk about what they've basically been doing for the last two games. Nukeduck and Peke, well, we kind of know that one because it's exactly the same as last game. So we're looking at the 4v4, which is effectively happens, gets to the 20-minute mark, these guys split off. With Malphite's Unstoppable Force, that crescendo or potentially flash crescendo and the arrow, the initiation and crowd control is once again seems to be in Fnatic's favor.
I'd say Fnatic can pull off a very similar strategy to what they've already been doing. It's just a little more narrow in the way they can pick things off, because Yorick can't necessarily fight in extended fights, or sorry, Malphite can't fight in extended fights the same way Yorick can, but he's much more about that absolute dive and absolute going in. Just like the crescendo is a longer, more commitful cooldown than Zyra, who's just trying to pull people or grab people with grasping roots. Fnatic has to be actually more targeted in the way they play this game, but they're still going to look to play in the same way.
Well, you can see it is packed house here in Gamescom Cologne in Germany. This is the third year running, by the way. League of Legends has shown itself here, and every single year you guys have came out
a little bigger
and put some massive, massive support. I can tell you, I believe this hall is actually closed at the moment. There's too many people in here, and everywhere I looked, I could see actually League of Legends on the screens. So the hall is taking advantage of this great final we have here, and Fnatic will be facing off against Lemondogs once again. This is the finals, ladies and gentlemen. It is for seeding in the Season 3 World Championships, which will be happening in Los Angeles in just a couple of weeks' time. It's not far away. I believe 16th of September is the slated time, and you guys, you are crazy. The Staples Center, the grand final, was sold out so damn quick.
Yeah.
Already, it was amazing. So as it is right now, Lemondogs are up against it. Fnatic are 2-0 up. Can they clean sweep the finals?
They're looking in very strong position to. The picks are still very similar to what's got them this way. The first win wasn't as strong as the second win, and Fnatic is also on a massive winning streak right now. So all signs are pointing to yes for 3-0. But Lemon Dogs has been underestimated this entire split. Only a couple times that they've been voted to win, and no one's thinking they're going to win right now, which is probably right where Lemon Dogs wants to be.
This time around, they're not too afraid. If you remember rightly, Fnatic, of course, when they had that Zyra, nobody wanted to run into those bushes. This time, Lemon Dogs have been a little bit more risky. They've gone in there. Oh, hello. Pushu maybe finding Tabs. Tabs is
oh dear
in a dangerous position.
Tabs.
Oh, nobody checks the bush.
Is he going to show himself? He knows Ashe isn't around. Just throw one out there. Well, what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, why not? Why not go for it? Just put a bit of damage on towards Yellowstar. Yellowstar's he's going to be still being vision. But Tabs is just simply keeping checking that vision. Now they know that ward is in that bush.
Yep. It was smart of him not to throw the Q, obviously. I just wanted to see the battle.
You just want to see a bit of aggression. That's all we could do. It could have caused the problem, and it could have forced Yellowstar to back off. It would have caused Fnatic to come down and react. It may have delayed their blue buff. Things like that could work in your favor.
Yeah, but it's the low-risk style of Lemon Dogs that meant that he didn't want to go and do that thing. They got the ward vision because of his low risk, so they got a guaranteed reward for him not going for a Q. Whereas if he did, it could have backfired.
It could have backfired, but as it is, Tabs on Ezreal will be looking to try and create some sort of advantages in this lane that has not gone entirely successful for them against Pushu and Yellowstar. If you remember rightly, back in the last game, they traded them double kills to both supports. Don't think they're going to be wanting to do that one again.
Yeah, and then for the rest of the game, Mithy didn't get a single more kill and died 6 more times, whereas Yellowstar took it all the way to 5 kills and just lopped in the goal. But this one is a bit of a dangerous thing for Dexter. We've seen this happen a couple times during this week as well, where the Jarvan kind of overcommits on Lee Sin, but in these situations, Lemon Dog's laners are pushed up far enough that they can then run into the jungle of Fnatic. And since Fnatic's lanes are backed up against them, Cyanide basically has to fend for himself here.
Nukduk and Zoro both come to join him, as you say, and cleanly take that red buff away. So good invade, working out well for them. And now Dexter actually not happy with that. He's going to try and go in towards Cyanide. Cyanide in trouble here. This could be first blood. Another couple of hits should put him down. No, safeguards to the minions.
Yeah, he had flash that whole time as well, so Cyanide was in complete control of that situation. He also got the big wraith, so he wasn't even counter jungled that highly from the wraiths. But as far as the blue steal goes, I wanted to talk about that for a second, because steals like that are planned from the very start of the laning phase. If Zoro and Nukduk had not have decided to shove Malphite and Ahri back, they could not have protected Dexter as he went in there, and Dexter would have effectively died in that invade. That is a team effort invade, and that is why it was safe for Dexter to go in and take that red.
So massive amounts of theory crafting done by these teams, planning, practice, and execution, all working well for Lemon Dogs at the start of this game. Could it be the good start that they require against Fnatic? Because Fnatic have done so well in the lanes phases lately. And once again, Mithy trying to put pressure down on this bottom lane. Let's talk about this bottom lane, because it's been a battle back and forth, and it has been Pushu and Yellowstar that have worked wonders. Tabs and Mithy. Tabs switching it up this time on the Ezreal. Trying to work it with the Zyra. Not quite the Ashe-Zyra combo, but it's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, it's definitely a highly defensive combo. If anyone's dying in this lane, it's most likely Mithy. Zyra's one who can't necessarily fend for herself if they get engaged upon, but Tabs at least will stay safe. I really do have to give it to Pusho and Yellowstar this week, and especially in this set against Tabs and Mithy, because Tabs and Mithy are a very good duo lane, and there's been a fair bit of 2v2 laning that's went on, where Fnatic has just seemed to dominate them.
Meanwhile, in this top lane, we've finally seen Soaz actually pushed a little bit by Zoro. Of course, he's not playing his Yorick this time around, which seems to have worked, despite the fact he fell behind in farm a couple of times. Game 1, definitely fell behind. Game 2, he was ahead because Zoro was punished heavily by that 2v1 trade. Ironically, Lemon Dogs chose not to go for that 2v1 trade again. Zoro was like, yeah, don't make me do that again.
Yeah, I don't want to lane against an Ashe in a 1v2. Ashe just then gets to turn on the aggression, whereas normally Ashe has to be a fairly far back laner who pokes with volleys. And for the first time in 3 games, actually, Lemondogs is in very comfortable positions in these laning phases. All 3 members of their team are able to push up, and it's very difficult for Cyanide to stop any of these lanes from pushing because he got pushed himself by Dexter when Dexter stole his red buff.
Good little trade by Zoro in that top lane on Soaz. Farm does start to cascade a little bit towards Kennen. We did see Cyanide looking to pay a visit in that mid lane. Nukeduck has just hit level 6. Destiny now available. Dexter actually round the backside of Soaz right now, so he may be a target. There is a ward placement by Peke to keep vision, and instead it's going to be Nukeduck backing off. They're not going to 2v1 dive, or maybe even 3v1 dive that top lane.
Yeah, and in that top lane, maybe 3rd time's a charm for 0-0 because he's up 50-30 on Soaz right now without any assistance. Obviously, Malphite is not the laning, doesn't have the laning power of Yorick for Soaz, but that's why they must have spent that ban on it. 0-0 is looking to have a much better time here in Game 3.
The mid lane as well, we are seeing Dexter just waiting off the side. Backed off instead, goes to buy, gets themselves that item, and it's Pushu and Yellowstar I'm still looking at in this bottom lane. Very close in terms of CS this time around. No great advantages being gained by either, and no actual aggression coming out this time. You mentioned that Tabs and Miffy probably going to be much more defensive this time. I guess both of them will have great defensive lanes, which is probably why we're not seeing anyone diving straight into each other. They are about to hit level 6 shortly, so once those ultimates are out, we could see an initiate.
We could, but the problem with this is when Lemondogs wins games, they slow play. When Fnatic has been winning games in this set, they go for things. And this is the first time we've seen Lemondogs doing so well in the early game, which is also contributing, along with the defensive picks, to this kind of just lane stall. Lemondogs knows that if this continues in this manner, they're just going to continue to accumulate a larger and larger advantage. So it's on Fnatic, actually, who has the 2 teleporting solo laners, which is contributing to why they're losing the lanes a little bit, because they don't have the combat summoners available. It's on Fnatic to make a play.
Let's keep our eye on that blue buff, because Lemondogs realize that Cyanide is being kept occupied in that top lane. Dexter is already heading there. He's just seen Peke going back, and the invade is on.
Yeah, Cyanide is nowhere to be seen. Even if they have the 2 teleports, it's still going to be an even man fight. Maybe Fnatic would try to burn both teleports to stop this and make a fight, but that's a bold choice. This is at least 1. There's 2.
There's going to be the teleport coming in. It is going to be Peke coming in around the side as well. They're going to get on towards it. The charm does not land on Nukeduck, forces him away. Lemondogs have scattered, and they are not going to focus fire on this one. They were 4 members versus 4, but with those 2 teleports burned, that's a successful invade.
Yeah, that blue buff better be real important to Fnatic, because it just cost them 2 5-minute cooldown summoner spells to be able to save that, and also sacrificed a significant amount of time for Soaz in that lane.
Let's not forget, Dexter does still have a smite. He could come back around and try and steal it away from Peke. It's actually keeping Fnatic fully focused and sticking around there. This is going to see Maywell turn him into a death, actually. We can see the true shot barrage come across, and it's actually Midney that picks up the kill.
So they actually played that a fair bit like you would an Ashe-Zyra combo. Zyra landed the grasping roots, and then Tabs ulted the same target. They got the damage through, and even though Pushu could flash away, Tabs had enough going down. One more time, inside with a plant. Tabs uses all his spells, and even though Pushu flashed away, he flashed straight back, which allowed that true shot barrage to slice him up.
Unfortunately, Tabs did use the flash to try and secure that kill, and didn't get it. But all that was created simply by that blue buff, simply by that farm. Yellowstar was actually up at the blue buff, and now Lemondogs are transferring that into a dragon.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take more and more since Cyanide has been living in this top lane. This is a bit of a reversal of what we've seen in previous games, where Soaz was the one creating a lot of action. Well, in a sense, creating a lot of pressure in the top lane, where junglers and people had to pay attention to him since he was winning the lane so badly. But 0-0 is doing the same to him, and that's why Cyanide hasn't been able to help out with those dragon plays.
So that first dragon going down, Lemondogs now in the ascendancy with that gold. Starting to stretch ahead of Fnatic for one of the, I would say, first time. The first game that was fairly close for a while with Lemondogs, but
it's a pretty big lead.
Definitely have a pretty good lead, just 10 minutes gone. And in terms of items, that could start to transfer. Of course, Tabs will be building very differently to push you in this game.
Yeah, that was also an immensely early Lich Bane by Nukeduck.
Yeah.
10 minutes, 30 seconds, and he barely gets enough to get the boots as well. they might try to turn on the tower game pretty quickly here because they're already fairly far up in gold. And if they can just start churning objectives on top of that, they could turn this into a fairly quick win. Fnatic is spending a while to build up their power. Pushu needs multiple items on Ashe to really have that big impact, since the rest of the team can't necessarily follow up on his Ashe arrows if they're losing the game gold-wise. He does go for it, it gets flashed away, and this just gives Lemondogs even more potential to just push the lane.
Gives them a big gap advantage. Nuke with that Lich Bane stood on a ward. Cyanide's going to come around and try and land the kick instead. He's going to buy time. Zoro's 0 in this top lane. He's going to keep on pushing it. Look at Soaz. He's had to go back. Unstoppable Force was burned out somewhere along the line there, and that's going to be the first turret of the game. Zoro's 0 in command of this top lane.
Yeah, really, Kennen working for him strongly against Malphite. A lot of times, if Malphite's laned up against Kennen, he wants to initiate a lane swap because that's not the best lane for him. And Soaz is actually not even building for the lane. He's considering it completely lost. He's still in Sunfire Cape mode. He didn't even go for a Chalice, which you see a lot of Malphites do against Kennens. It'll be very interesting to see how Soaz recovers, since he's already lost the turret and doesn't necessarily have to lane against Kennen again. He wants to make his impact felt in team fights.
Zoro 0 going back very early on. You were talking about the power spike that Nuke's got. Zoro 0 going aggressive as well. So, big items coming out early for Lemondogs. Are they going to try and create some plays? Will we see that destiny of Nuke being used to go aggressive, potentially on this bottom lane as he drifts down towards that? We've already seen a kill land on Pushu. Pushu's arrow is still not available, but he does have that crescendo.
Yeah, here's the thing though. If we think back to the last time Lemondogs beat Fnatic in Super Week, the kill score at the end was 12-1. Lemondogs didn't take any risks in that game, which is why they never died. And since Lemondogs has such a large advantage already accumulated at 12.5 minutes, there is actually no reason for them to do anything risky because they're winning, doing exactly what they're doing right now. Also, I want to point out Tabs' Blade of the Ruined King on Ezreal. This is not your tier Ezreal start. He's definitely going to go in and just kill Ashe with that Blade of the Ruined King. He wants to get close with his Arcane Shift, pop the Blade of the Ruined King, and then try to burst him down.
We'll see how that develops. Zoro 0 in that top lane, building up a healthy lead. 118-76. No doubt about it. Soaz is just shrugging his shoulders and thinking, well, I was never going to really win out this matchup. It's purely about the team, which is interestingly something he's been fairly vocal about in his Facebook comments about that. Something that he's not certainly quite an outspoken member of Fnatic. Will speak his mind to everyone willing to listen to if it wants to work out. But he's had such a good Yorick game, and honestly, he's got such a deep champion pool that anything could work out for him. Soaz
can play pretty much anything at any moment. He'll always pull out that surprise pick. I mean, he pulled out Nasus against Malphite when they were even qualifying to get the #2 seed. And then the double Yorick pick is one of the big reasons they were able to pull up this 2-0 advantage on Lemondogs so far. However, once that Yorick got banned away, this Malphite adjustment has not worked, at least in the laning phase.
Mid lane, we do see Peke cutting across. Cyanide with him, just defending out that turret, wiping out the wave in the end, making sure nobody gets close there. So, slow play from Lemondogs this time around, and why not? They are 2-0 down. They have to think about this one. Every single aggression they play out could backfire, could cause them to be the #2 seed, which I don't believe they want after such a great season in the summer.
No, not at all. They won the first one. They don't want to take any steps backward. They had a very tough road through this split, obviously having to make the roster change. Yellowstar moved to support. Came in as a what is called temporary AD carry, but we talked about that earlier, and there's a chance he's going to be, well, he will be playing for a few games at least in the group stage at Worlds. So Fnatic having to overcome a lot of adversity here, and they might have to fight their way into this series because this game is not going well for them.
Yeah, I believe the group stage begins on the 15th September, and his birthday's a couple of days later, which means there would be group stage matches where Reckless wouldn't be there, and as he talked about it, and as his management talks about it as well, it's like Pushu, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we just stick with Pushu, because Reckless is more of a Season 4 thing. So we'll see how that develops, of course. Keep your eyes on that. It's going to be Nuke. They dive in. They've managed to get the kick, but it sends Nuke not exactly the right direction. Slicing Maelstrom from Zoro0. The arrow catches on towards Zoro0. He may have to pay for that one with his life. Yes, he will. Peke gets in and gets that kill. Now they dive in, and Stoppable Force flashed away by Nuke there, and he manages to avoid yet more deaths.
The reaction time right there from Nuke definitely saved him, but Fnatic is trying to make a play here. Burning teleports. The Sunfire Cape was completed for Soaz, and immediately they go for objective-based gameplay because they need to get this gold back. But this is not a safe dragon to take. They need to worry about the poke and the steal.
There's a teleport. It's actually going to be Destiny used. He goes down towards the bottom to join the rest of his team. Wildcard's being thrown out. Don't forget, True Shot Barrage is not available, so won't be able to get the steal on that. So if they try and go for that steal, it's going to have to be Dexter that slides in. But he's on half health, and wisely, both teams back off from the dragon.
Yeah, Lemon Dogs, even though they only had 4 people, Fnatic was quite low and were missing a lot of their key cooldowns. In fact, check out that cross-map arrow effectively, which clinched this kill onto 0-0. Now Lemon Dogs, after all those shenanigans, going for a dragon of their own.
They're going in there, but Cyanide's coming around the side. Remember, he stole it in game 1 and he steals it in game 2. The Crescendo comes out. Dexter getting taken low there, but it's going to be Yellowstar. Simply backs off. Are they going to come around the side? Pusher using that barrier, getting a lot of damage down on Tabs, but he has to back out the Ignite. Stopped out by the safeguard of Cyanide.
Great steal by Cyanide and better shot by Tabs.
Nice try, but not today, thanks, says Tabs, and he picks himself up a kill and an exit. But let's face it, that was a big advantage game by Fnatic.
Absolutely, they're pulling themselves a little bit back in this game, and that's just what Lee Sin does. Cyanide very calmly came in the back of that pit, and since everyone from Lemon Dogs was actually worried about a potential fight from Fnatic, they didn't want to go deeper into the pit to go with Cyanide, and the execute damage that happens from his Sonic Wave resonating strike, comboed with a smite, just actually gave Dexter no real chance of getting that dragon away as long as Cyanide executed his combo properly.
Nuke going for a similar build that Peke used in game 1 on his Twisted Fate right now. That needs to be large big put on the course, along with the Mercury Treads that he's now completed as well. Zoro0, though, he seems to be having a much better game this time up. He had a much better laning phase against Soaz, and he's starting to build up a hefty CS lead. He's been left alone in that mid lane for some time. He's continuing to farm. While they were taking that dragon, while they were trying to push it, he was still continuing to fight that mid lane.
And it's a little interesting, too, that he's went with the Abyssal Scepter first, comboed with his Sorcerer's Shoes, to be a little bit more aggressive, not the initiation Super Zonya's type. He'll be going in, and it would be Fnatic's choice now whether they try to burst him down with their somewhat limited amount of damage, or if Pushu can just focus him down. It's a very bold choice.
Oh, Lemon Dogs have completely left their mid lane totally open. Fnatic just move in as a 5 and say thank you very much. Easy free turret. It is going to leave Tubbs pushing the bottom lane, but they're not done. They're going in towards the bottom lane. Zoro0 gets collapsed upon. The kick was used, but it wasn't really needed. Destiny comes out, but they'd be foolish to go in towards this one. It is going to be another inner turret.
And if they want, they could continue to initiate. Lemon Dogs has to be very careful about this. Soaz has his ultimate up. Peke just uses dashes. There's the ult.
Unstoppable Force on Nuke. He gets caught out. He's going to get taken down. Cyanide comes flying in with a kick to the jaw.
So that is a lot of kills by Fnatic, and we talked about Lemon Dogs not forcing the plays, waiting for Fnatic to go in and then reacting, but they waited a little bit too patiently there. Tabs was not in position. Nuke Duck decided to finish off blue buff. Here's the arrow, and look how quickly 0-0 went down. No Zonya's Hourglass, I don't think it would have mattered because he was stunned pretty much that entire time. Then Nuke Duck came back in, but he wasn't safe yet. Fnatic has re-initiation capability. Nuke Duck inched his way back in once Fnatic was out of minions, and Soaz took advantage. Boom.
Full advantage. Nuke Duck went down. Strangler Thorns was also used that way, maybe just to try and mitigate the damage, but Fnatic, despite the fact they're down in gold, they show they have that team fight capability. That big comp, they can just join up and absolutely smash you out the way. So 2 mid lane turrets wiped out in quick succession, getting 3-2 in turrets. 2 Lemon Dogs But of course, those middle turrets are so important in terms of vision, which is why we're starting to see a lot of wards getting scattered around the map.
Yeah, and the wards, as we've mentioned previously, are so vital for avoiding Ashe arrows. In fact, Lemon Dogs needs to put wards in the lanes because that's the main place where Pushu is shooting his arrows from. So as they pass through the lane, Lemon Dogs can see them coming. If they don't do that, more initiations happen like what happened to Zoro Zero, and Lemon Dogs loses key objectives. These teleports are going to be coming all the time though, and Zoro Zero needs to run.
Zoro Zero does try to run away from this one, but the charm lands. That's surely going to be the death of him. You're going to see Peke come back in. Another ball that comes straight out there, and it's a clean pickup. Peke now 3-0-1. Mid lane and bottom lane are being pushed by Lemon Dogs though.
Yeah, this is going to be a race for turrets at this point. Pushu, arrows to try to slow him down. They can't kill this one, or can they? That was a bold crescendo. Mithy coming in to help as well.
They've got the damage it seems, but Pushu's going to get caught out from the side. Stragglethorns will pop him up. Has Mithy got enough to finish him off? Yes, he has. And the ignite from Mithy, the support doing damage. Oh, wildcard on Yellowstar. He's going to get stunned up. He's going to get taken down. And Nuke Duck responds.
There was the opportunity. Fnatic went all in for the kill on Zoro Zero, and the rest of Lemon Dogs just jumped on Fnatic as Fnatic over-aggressed with only 2 people. Maybe now Ari and Lee Sin. That's way too many people to take on.
Yes, I know. Looking at around the side, their teleport going to come in. Don towards that
nice
ward.
Kick.
They are going to kick Mithy back in there. Unstoppable Force is available if they want to chase on towards Dexter.
Is he going to go over the wall?
Dexter may well try and get away from this one. Can they package him out? We're going to see Peke using the Spirit Ridge to catch on the charm lands. Peke gets the kill.
Peke is on fire right now in more ways than one with the Foxfire Ari. 4 kills. 0 deaths. Every one of these charms is just landing, and it is so crucial for Fnatic right now to make these plays because they lost the laning phase so badly, and they have been counting on their ability to maneuver around the map and stop Lemon Dogs' 3-1-1 strategies.
Well, while this has all been happening, those arrows obviously creating the plays. We haven't actually noticed that Tabs had built himself up a 60 CS advantage over Pushu, but in terms of gold, well, 1-0-2 to a 0-3-2, it doesn't matter. It is going to be Tabs with a big lead. It is the gold lead overall for Lemon Dogs, despite the fact it seems that they are losing this game to Fnatic.
Absolutely, and 950 of that gold is from Nuke Duck's Twisted Fate passive right now, but that still doesn't account for the rest of it. Tabs could be a very big problem if Fnatic isn't able to catch on to him. Pushu right now is all about the arrows. It's actually not that uncommon for an Ashe to be out-farmed by enemy AD carries in a lot of situations because Ashe is mainly about these arrows that are trying to start fights for Fnatic.
So as all the arrows going back down the mid, is caught on towards Mithy, and instantly the charm follows up, completely locked up. That's going to be the easiest kill they're going to make. It's ironically Yellowstar that picks it up.
Soaz might go.
Unstoppable Force is available. Soaz is trying to get in there, but got slowed down and was unable to close the distance.
Well, he is still pushing everyone on Lemon Dog's back just by looking at him. They do not want to get into range of that Unstoppable Force. And it doesn't matter if Pushu's down 50 or 60 CS here. If he keeps catching those clutch Ashe arrows, it's going to pull the rest of Fnatic back because that kill on Zyra gave them that dragon.
Absolutely, and that was a nice easy dragon for Fnatic, their second one of the game, I believe, and this time they didn't need Cyanide to dive in with his smite and quite clearly pick that up. Pushu continues his farming way. Got himself the Infinity Edge quite a while ago. I believe that may even be a last whisper he goes for, or will it be a Phantom Dancer for the second item?
Well, Pushu's one with a couple different builds on Ashe. Goes Infinity Edge first. He did the Phantom Dancer game 1, Static Shiv in game 2, and he always does Last Whisper. In fact, most of these European AD carries get Last Whisper very early on in their item builds because they just love that extra armor penetration. I'd expect him to finish Last Whisper very shortly and then go into a Static Shiv because they need a lot of lane pushing in this game.
Speaking of that Last Whisper, Tabs continuing his very different Ezreal build.
Yeah, he needs that to cut through Soaz though right now because if he doesn't get a Last Whisper right now, he's not cutting through any of Soaz's armor.
So Soaz has been involved in every single kill so far. Has Peke. As you kind of expect, I guess, for Peke. He is the highest kill score in the European LCS. Are they really stacking up for this Baron? this would be dangerous play, or are they trying to bait the Lemon Dogs into yet more plays? Soaz in a great position to cut them off. Crescendo comes in there, but it's the other star that gets caught out. The arrow comes from very deep in there. Mithy is going to get taken down, but Cyno in trouble, has to try and safeguard away. This is backfired horribly. We see Tabs, he comes across, good flash, Crescendo, getting on towards Soaz. Soaz gets melted, it's a triple kill now. And Tabs is doing work. Tabs has had to back away from the fight in the bottom there because Peke is going to come in towards him. Peke tries to close him down. Has he got the damage? No, he doesn't. That's the double kill for Zoro, and that's the Baron for Lemon Dogs.
That was completely unexpected right now. Fnatic decided to all in without having their whole team there. Yellowstar ulting in when Lemon Dogs was ready and waiting for that fight on top of a Stranglethorns. Soaz had the right idea. He was getting out of there, but then everyone else for Fnatic kind of stuck around. Nuke Duck went in for Soaz. Pushu stopped to get a volley in. That allowed him to get caught in. Peke came in because he recognized Pushu was already close to him, tried to finish off Tabs because at this point Peke is saying, crap, if I don't kill someone, they're getting Baron. He died anyway. They got Baron.
They got Baron, all 5 members of the Lemon Dogs. First Baron of the game, and the first big advantage gained by Lemon Dogs, despite the fact Fnatic's aggression seemingly was starting to turn the tide of battle, but that one simple bad call, ironically from Yellowstar, who's been creating some great opportunities earlier on in Zyra on the last game. This time around, those flash Crescendo backfiring and baiting his whole team in. So, will Fnatic go into turtle mode? It doesn't seem that way, because they're still keeping the lanes pushed.
As Fnatic kind of has to do. If they don't keep the lanes pushed, they're just allowing Lemon Dog Dexter and Zoro to basically turret dive them right now. That's the point in the game that we've kind of reached. This Baron and that 5-0 puts Fnatic in real danger of losing this game and would definitely prevent the 3-0. So Lemon Dogs has to play this one pretty smart right now. Nuke Duck is trying to finish off this blue buff. He's doing a ton of damage at this point. And as long as Lemon Dogs can control their lanes, it'll open them up a pretty good position to try on a dive, or at least try taking pot shots at Fnatic.
Well, there is going to be a pot shot. Lemon Dogs trying to slide in, they back off. The bottom lane is kind of dealing with itself, so Fnatic don't have to worry about that. We've seen Peke clearing out the top, and it's Lemon Dogs trying to bait out those fights in the jungle skirmishes, but it's not going to happen. Fnatic have hawk shot it, they've got vision of it with the ward coverage, and they do see they have a safe moment, but I believe that's going to be the inner turret in that mid lane. I don't think Fnatic want to fight for this one. They are posturing to, but I think it'd be a bit of a crazy fight.
It will be very dangerous. The teleports are back up for all Fnatic soul laners, and that was a cannon ultimate, but it was not seen by Fnatic.
That was slicing mirrors from being used by Zoro there, and I'm not entirely sure what for. Gotta be in the wrong key. Like, yeah, look at Dexter's face, they're laughing. He made a mirror.
Well, the E button is rather close to the R button, and I feel like he was trying to run away, but instead just kind of hit the wrong one. Whoops. Whoops-a-daisy. That's going to slow down things, and that effectively wastes a little bit of this Baron for Lemon Dogs. But Fnatic catches a break with that.
Yeah, they do, but they won't know why. They're just going to be thinking...
They're just like, why are they not diving? Maybe they're just really scared of our good looks right now.
They're good looks.
Fnatic is a pretty good-looking team.
I bow to your wisdom on this. I know I've said
That's my analysis right now.
Thank you very much. So, nevertheless, it is Lemon Dogs that are going to push in with this siege wave. Try and keep driving it in. All of the lanes, though, are being held off nicely by Fnatic, so no real opportunities unless they go face checking in there, and that's going to be a kill straight away. It will be Mithy that gets locked up. Wow! Force catching a number of them down. That's going to be Dexter that gets dropped in there. Nuke Duck's going to get taken down. That's the second kill for Peke, and wow, just like that, as an opportunity opens itself up, Fnatic with a single good ward position take themselves 3 kills.
Well, not only does Fnatic have good looks, they have the ability to seize opportunity. They would have went in that even if Cannon had Slicing Maelstrom, because Peke waited for the re-engage. Mithy was down before this fight happened, and that was a crescendo that doesn't bait the team in. After that happened, Peke came in from the flank to get behind Lemon Dogs. They could not run away from them, and we've seen the chase of Ashe and Ahri. It is inescapable, and Fnatic may have pulled themselves back in this game.
Well, they've got 3 members of Fnatic taking down the Dragon in the top lane. Zoro was trying to split push, but that got blocked off by Soaz. So he goes up towards that top lane to defend this one off. So as Zoro0 will back away. So let's actually take a moment as Zoro0 gets spotted out because the golem walks towards the nearest opponent,
target,
which showed him straight away. Clever play from Soaz because he instantly backed away. So he pretty sure that we knew there was someone there. So let's talk about the items. Let's have a look across the board because these top laners, it's been an interesting battle between them. As I see, there's going to be home guard boots. Peke coming straight in. Spirit Rush is available. Zoro0 is not going to be able to escape this one, nor is he. The rest of the team join him, and he gets away.
Yeah, Peke went a little too far out of that cannon ult once he nearly blew Zoro0's head off with the start of that DFG combo. Crazy, crazy stuff. And to maybe take a look at the items, Peke is doing a bit of damage, as we saw in that fight. Also, Nuke Duck is going to be doing just about as much with his gold card combos, and that's why it's going to be so pivotal for Soaz to get onto Twisted Fate in these fights. I don't think Malphite is necessarily trying to seek out Ezreal. Ezreal is too mobile for that in certain moments. He needs to go for TF. But right now, TF is going for Fnatic.
Destiny used by Nuke Duck, giving full advantage, giving full positioning. He goes for Yellowstar in the jungle. Yellowstar turns around with the crescendo, gets the Gangnam style going from Nuke Duck, but he's going to quickly throw out that card and will just drop him down. Now can they close the gap on towards the rest of Fnatic? It's going to be Peke that tries to turn it back on towards Dexter's face. Can he get the kill? Yes, he can. It's a 1-for-1. Support for jungler. Tabs is taken very low, but Peke gets locked up in towards the bush. Is he going to get saved out? Stranglethorns will bounce. 2 members of Fnatic, but it's not going to get enough to get the kill. It's still a 1-for-1.
All said and done, Fnatic is still sticking around here. They're very low, and so is Lemon Dogs. And knowing them, they're backing off. This game has gotten so incredibly close. 7-1 on Peke. Yellowstar having to burn his crescendo just to deal with Nuke Duck. It's becoming one of those battles again, but I have to say Soaz's ability to teleport in as well could turn a lot of these things. So much of the opportunity has been created here by Fnatic just teleporting around.
Peke coming in, didn't realize he'd got 2 other members of Lemon Dogs close by, but there is Soaz, and that forces a flash from Zoro0. Mithy using that grasping root to lock them up.
And Cyanide trying to come in as well. He has the Sight Stone. He might try to continue some more jumps if he can avoid these grasping roots. Fnatic wants to go. Great plant block of the skill shot there by Mithy.
Mithy using that plant block, stopping the attack dead. So, Fnatic, they're not out of this game yet by a long stretch.
Not at all.
It's only about a 3k gold difference. 12-10 in kills, 3-3 and turrets all square there. Tabs seemingly found a good champion for himself right now in the form of Ezreal. He has got those Iceborne gauntlets. He's got the Blade of the Rune King and that Last Whisper. Very different build that we normally don't see from Ezreal's. Meanwhile, his AD carry opposite number, Pushu, Infinity Edge and Last Whisper heading towards, we believe, this is Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, right now Pushu has a choice of either the Shiv or the Phantom Dancer, and it won't make too big of an impact. Tabs went for the tierless blue Ezreal, which is generally his style of Ezreal. He doesn't care about the tier, he wants the damage early on in the lane, which is pretty smart. And these fights are really all about who jumps on who first. Right now there's a Malphite bottom lane. Lemon Dogs is going for the picks on Yellowstar. He just hates him right now.
He really wants to get on here. Oh, the combo of True Shot Barrage coming across. That's 2 ultis burned, and Soaz is down the bottom lane pushing the inner turret.
Yeah, but he has teleport up right now. All Fnatic needs to do is get vision of this Baron if they want to contest. It's a little dangerous for them to be around here, but he could start teleporting in on another ward. That Baron's getting incredibly low. He has to go in now.
Teleport comes in. It's in the Baron pit. He's going to be able to catch them if he comes around the same time, but he gets locked up by the Stranglethorns and the Baron doing damage towards him. Meanwhile, the rest of Fnatic come in there. We do see Pushu. He gets on towards Nuke Duck. Peke not doing a lot of damage. They're not going to chase it out there.
The Baron's really low.
Baron. Soaz still has Unstoppable Force available, ladies and gentlemen.
Can he steal?
If he comes around there, there's Unstoppable Force. No, he gets whiffed. He gets Arcane shifted away from this one. They're going to steal the Baron very low. Soaz gets taken down by Tabs. Now we're going to see Mithy. He gets on towards Pushu.
Oh no!
Peke doing the damage. They're on towards the Baron. The crescendo comes across. The Baron still low. It's taking down Tabs though. Yellowstar might be able to juke this one out. The Baron does the damage. It was a triple kill, but the turns it around. And it is an ace for Lemon Dogs. The Baron was down to nothing in hit points. Wow, what a fight.
Let's just take a look at this one again, because Nuke Duck gets bursted down before anything. And I gotta say, Baron gets the MVP for this one because he probably killed at least half of the players. It is such an important objective that Dexter went in because he was trying to steal. Cyanide kicked him out because he didn't want him to steal. And at this point, everyone is getting distracted, half wanting to fight, half wanting to finish off Baron. Cyanide gets finished off by Tabs, and then Baron turns his action to the closest thing. The Crescendo actually locks Tabs down inside, and it's not Yellowstar who finishes him off, even though he gets kill credit. It's Baron who smoked him. By the way, Baron finished Yellowstar well, and it ends up being a crazy 5-for-4 that doesn't tell us much about this game, other than they're going to go back there and do it again.
It tells us that these two teams really want to get a victory here. Lemondogs, of course, 2-0 down. They have to win this matchup. Fnatic, they have no pressure on their shoulders right now because they have that buffer of a game advantage, just one step away from being the #1 seed, moving in towards the Season 3 World Championships in Los Angeles, in that group stage, the all-important group stage, a double round-robin group stage. You know, and the seeding is a big deal. You know, as I've heard a lot of people saying, yeah, this game isn't worth a great deal. Of course, for the North America, when they have their tournament in PAX, it will be all about getting the bye. But we need to get a good seeding because you don't want one of those big top Korean teams in your group, or maybe even a tough American team, a Chinese team. There's some big names out there that will be going to the Worlds.
It is the World Championship for a reason. Only the top teams get to go there, and both of these teams are showing us why they've already qualified so far in this game. The play in this game has actually been incredibly strong mechanically, and they've been a little bit crazy elsewise. I'd say Fnatic has definitely been forced into a situation where they have to take a lot of risks, and they've taken very good risks and played them very well. That's the whole reason they've been able to pull back to only about 3,000 gold down.
And one thing I would certainly draw attention to this time around was our featured matchup, Nukeduck versus Peke, because Peke is now 8-2-7 against the 236 Nukeduck. Definitely seems to be working very much in his favor on that Ahri.
And I wonder if this next fight is going to be different since there are 2 Banshee's Veils completed by Nukeduck and Tabs. Soaz is diminished in effectiveness greatly in his initiation. It also blocks Pushu's ability to Ash Arrow the targets he wants to at this point. So he's not nearly as potent right now with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Lemondog smartly itemizing those things, and it makes it much more difficult. But if they get it on the support, he's gone.
Mithy's going to get taken low, but not out of it. True shot down! Rattles straight through Fnatic, but Fnatic pick themselves up a kill to try and exit this one. Lemondogs are going to give chase. Tabs comes in. There's going to be Destiny. Stun card on towards Peke. Peke's going to go down here. One more hit will do it. The Ignite finishes him off. Tabs now towards Soaz. Soaz has to use the Unstoppable Force to get away, but that was 3 members of Fnatic taken down, and Baron still up, remember, but Cyanide is alive.
And that was eerily similar to the last Flash Crescendo Yellowstar did on Lemondog's time to the map. Everyone on Lemondogs just turned it around. Zoro in particular crushed that, and Cyanide has one hell of a job to try and steal this Baron. Dexter, however, is very low. There is no vision in the Baron, and Tabs is just trying to take out Cyanide. That's the smart move by Lemondogs.
Yeah, he may be able to do it. He's safeguard, he's forced him away. Tabs effectively being a defensive linebacker there, just keeping him well away from this one. So, Baron on Lemondogs. Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, and just to get back to how it got them here, they wanted to burst down Mithy, but Zoro flashed into the Cataclysm as everything else cut through. That Crescendo didn't do anything because everyone on Lemondogs was already where they wanted to be. Sure, you can lock them there. They're going to crush you. Nukeduck finishes off the rest of it. He catches the incredibly slippery Peke, and Soaz has nothing left but to just ult away because him ulting in would not have saved much that fight.
Yeah, and that charm was negated by that Banshee's Veil that Peke threw out there. So, Fnatic back in the defensive position. Lemondogs now with a clean advantage. They still, remember, look at the objectives. Only taking down 3 towers. It's only the outer turrets that they've hit. They will surely turn this Baron into some form of aggression and push in, because Lemondogs, as of yet, have not been that successful in sieging these turrets.
No, and part of that was because Zoro pressed his ult when he shouldn't have. Yes. That is honestly one of the big reasons we made it here, because once Fnatic decided to initiate on them, Zoro did not have his ultimate to repel, and that's what kind of swung this whole start of a comeback. Now that Lemondogs has control again, it's round 2 for them, and it actually Fnatic still probably doesn't know that 0-0 burned that Cannon ultimate. I'm not entirely sure on that. They might think they can just do it again, but as we've seen, that Cannon ultimate can shred.
And shred. That's going to be Nuke's Banshee's Veil getting taken down by that volley shot of Pushu. Going to be looking to do that yet more times on towards Tabs, because Tabs has become a real thorn in their side. 9-1-5 Tabs right now. His height and aggression that he's been showing in these team fights that have backfired have been real problems for Fnatic.
And what Fnatic needs to do during this Lemon Dog siege is they have to find a way to get the Banshee's Veil down. If Pushu can hit a volley or Peke can hit a random skill shot just to get some of those turrets down, then it can channel the initiation from Soaz. But until they do that, Lemon Dogs is basically safe to siege and push whatever turrets they want.
So bottom inner turret taken down by Nuke. That's the first one so far. There's a big wave in that top lane as well. Fnatic having to use Peke on that bottom lane to clear the wave. Actually, only 3 members. Oh, Peke's been caught out. Good grasping roots there. Nuke, look at the damage he just throws out. So much attrition. Barrage comes through. Tabs gets a snipe on towards him. That gives him his 10th kill of the game. They're going to drive on through here. They're going to get on towards that inner turret. Tabs is going to take that one down. The inhibitor turret may well be the next focus target. They could keep pushing.
They're just pushing as many turrets as they can right now. Nukeduck's not even with the team. He decided to just go off into the other land, which might mean Fnatic is just trying to use random cooldowns to hold them down. They're lost without Peke, who is doing so much of their damage.
3 inner turrets so far with this Baron buff. Could they take more? They keep stepping in. They keep taking that tower aggression. Zoro is just tanking it up there. While meanwhile, Nukeduck, he's going to take down the top inhibitor turret. This is causing serious problems. We saw Zoro going in, slicing Maelstrom coming out, but Cyanide kicks him straight away, holding off that turret just a little bit longer.
And it's not going to be much longer because those Lynchbane hits from Nukeduck are crushing them. And just like that, it seems, with those long death timers, Fnatic is losing a lot of their base. Peke will be up in a few seconds, though, with home guard boots, which is why Lemon Dogs is getting out of there. But the damage has mostly been done.
The damage certainly has been done. A giant wave in that bottom as well. Wow. Check this out.
Yeah, grasping roots is what started all of this. And the charm didn't even need to land for that one. Halfway into the base, too, Tabs just guessed which direction Peke was going to be running. He saw a little bit of it with a ward, but that shot wasn't good.
Was it the direction or was it the fountain? Because he knew he was going to be going for that fountain. He was like, I'm going to aim at the fountain, see if I can get him before he gets there.
Most likely.
Well, nevertheless, it's a big advantage game for Lemon Dogs. Could this be their first win? Of course, it would be another 2 that they would require, but it's not a bad start. It's where you've got to pick up a win. A win's a win, and they're not going to want to go 3-0 because nobody wants to get 3-0. The confidence hit that it could give them, certainly the first 2 games, it's certainly going to make them a bit more humble and respect Fnatic's play because they had such a big advantage over them in their summer split that suddenly Fnatic, well, they've gone, what, 7 wins without reply, I believe, so far, coming from that 2nd place tie.
Yeah, it's actually, I think they were on an 8-game win.
Yeah, they will be now, yeah.
Right before this one. Looks like it's about to turn to 8-1 in their last 9.
Still not bad, going into the Worlds.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Form, yeah.
That's still a pretty good number. Lemon Dogs, though, wants to pick up that confidence as well, and like we said before, Lemon Dogs has been underestimated this entire split. Even when they came into the league, it was like, they just made it in because Against All Authority was imploding, and then they started the season when they made the Mythy swap is really when they started picking up steam. But even then, they weren't getting voted for wins. You'd ask any of the players in Europe and we'd say, who's the best team? It's like, we're all even. Oh, it's not the first place team? It's not Lemon Dogs? No, it's not those guys. But then they moved through the playoffs here, 2-0'd, qualified for World Championships, and they're here for a reason, because they're good.
The irony is, in terms of scrims, it was NIP that everybody was having problems with, and Fnatic. Well, we see Fnatic in here, but NIP are in a completely different situation.
Yeah.
Despite the fact they were in that 2-way tie, the 4-way tie, sorry, for 2nd place, they're now fighting themselves out of relegation. That was, of course, the promotion matches that will be happening later in the month. And that's going to be joining SK and MYM in that one. Meanwhile, it's the World Finals that these guys are looking at. This is the glory end of the table. And Lemon Dogs, after topping the season, are going to be unhappy with their performance so far against Fnatic. They are currently 2-0 down. Can they take it 2-2-1? They're certainly biding their time. They have opened up the can and defense of Fnatic. They've taken down lane inhibitor turrets in the top and middle lane. exposing those inhibitors, and it seems they're not done yet. They want to try just to take those turrets down. They're not going for the exposed inhibitors just yet.
They're going to wait for another opportunity here. Looking at Nukeduck's items, he is incredibly spiky right now. If he gets a DFG Lichbane kind of gold card combo, especially on someone like Pushu, he's going to kill him. Straight up. Pushu only has Mercury Treads to stop that, and Nukeduck wants to actually play Assassin Twisted Fate right now. Peke has a bunch of damage itself, and actually a way of avoiding that burst since he's just picked up his Zhonya's. Remember, this is an 11,000 gold lead, so Lemondogs definitely has teamfight superiority, but because we're so late into the game, if Fnatic catches the right target first, for instance, if they caught Twisted Fate, that would be 20,000 gold off the table. Immediately Fnatic would have a higher edge. They just have to be careful with who they catch.
And they have to be careful of those Tabs Mystic shots, because once they get them slowed down, of course he's got that red buff and the gauntlets is causing a problem. We just saw Cyanide worried dead, almost getting caught out when you can almost catch a Lee Sin out. Oh, look at this. We're going to see the wildcards used, and Soaz taking a burst of damage. That's 1,000 hit points taken off the table already. They're going to slide in towards him. He's already shredded to half hit points. We're going to have the sustain of Yellowstar. They may not back away from this one, but it's going to cause a problem already.
And effectively, the Shirelia's Reverie is actually what popped Soaz's flash, because everyone from Lemondogs was going to be able to close the distance, and Fnatic was not in a position in this game where they would want to turn that one. Pushu needs to have a lot of safety wherever he sets up, because he's went full offensive items aside from those Mercury Treads, and we know how quickly Nukeduck can explode him.
Cyanide is lingering, waiting. Baron has spawned, and he's going to get started off with Lemondogs, but Fnatic aware of this one. They're going to put that ward down. We see the Mashia standard being thrown down by Dexter, immediately getting them coverage, and they peel away from Baron, looking to see if they can get anybody caught out. But it's not going to happen. Lemondogs realize it's a bit of a too much of a risky situation to go for that open fight.
Yeah, so Lemondogs, like usual, biding their time until something good happens for them or they create an opportunity. Dexter is really full magic resist tank right now. Banshee's Veil, Spirit Visage on Jarvan, so if he tries to go in and get Pushu, it wouldn't work well for him, which just tells us that Lemondogs is in sync, in a sense, with what they want to do right now. It is very much Nukeduck's or Zoro Zero's job to kill Pushu, and not Dexter whatsoever. Dexter is just worried about locking down Soaz or Peke.
Lemondogs have 4 Banshee's Veils, and they're about to get the 5th.
As well they should. They've been having so many issues with those Ash Arrows this entire time. As soon as they picked up those 2, we were wondering if it was going to make a big turn. And it came in big. You know, Nukeduck went to finish off Peke, blocked the charm, was able to finish him off. It diminishes Fnatic's ability to initiate cleanly. The only thing they could go for was Mithy at the time. Can't even do that anymore, because he's got a Banshee's Veil.
Everybody's stacking it out. And Zoro Zero, of course, does have the Zhonya's Hourglass as well, so effectively he would be a double defense towards Peke. Peke, who is the sole carrier of a big majority of those Fnatic kills, which is certainly the right person to be defensive specking against. Fnatic, though, they're just trying to push in towards that mid lane. Swiftness used from Yellowstar. They didn't have good vision. They realized they had good lane positioning. They pushed Lemondogs out of it, but instead they were like, well, it's a bit too risky to just run straight down that mid.
They know that if they die in a fight, the game is effectively over. The death timers are so long right now, 48 minutes in, and there are 2 exposed inhibitors for Fnatic. They need to have vision before they go in for one of these fights. And even if they have vision, unless they're popping those Banshee's Veils, it doesn't look good for them.
So Lemondogs conga line around. They're going to clear out anything in the jungle. The Oracles on both Nukeduck and Tabs. So double Oracled up. Supports, of course, with a mountain of gold and a complete item build. It makes sense that those are the guys that do start buying those Oracles out, giving actually Mithy time to maybe, just maybe, start going a bit more aggressive on Zarya. It's something we've seen being used before.
Got a bit of defense. So he could definitely take at least 1 or 2 hits. As soon as Pushu gets on him, though, he'd be falling pretty fast still.
Well, Lemondogs are going to return back to the split push, it seems, and drive on through. Definitely slowed the pace down of this game because it is very much a tactical game. 49 minutes in, the death timers will be around about 50 seconds right now. Cyanide's Banshee's Veil gets caught out. It's going to be Nuke going aggressive. Cyanide quickly using and flashing across. Those wildcards will come through. Cyanide very tanky though, and proving that he's not easy to take down by Nuke just yet.
Absolutely, he went very tanky with Lee Sin. Those 4 kills he got early really allowed him to pick up a large amount of tank itemization. It's still not doing much for them though. Yes, they burned the Twisted Fate ultimate, which gives them a bit of safety, but this doesn't give Fnatic any windows to actually leave their base, and it only gives them slightly more ability to contest this Baron. That Lemondogs is almost just waiting for Fnatic to try and come and stop him.
It is still Lemondogs in the driving seat. Gold advantage 11,000, but that's not really what matters because most of these players are up to 6 item builds or getting close to. 19-17 in kills. It's been a fairly hectic game, but the last 5 minutes has definitely killed the pace of it because both of these teams are so cautious. Fnatic, they're in a position. There's an arrow going down the mid. It's not going to find a target. Ooh, of course, as Banshee's Veils would have blocked it.
Yeah, it would have had to hit 0-0, so he's basically taking a shot in the dark. It actually did hit Mithy, but his Banshee's Veil blocked it. Had to see it was running out of the base. I'm a little surprised Lemondogs hasn't tried more in this game because they do have 2 exposed inhibitors and they have done very well in team fights, but they don't necessarily have a tank line in the sense that Dexter has deferred so much farm this game to Nuke Duck, and they're gonna steal that. Oh, just about stole that blue because they had warded it previously. But Lemondogs has done so much in this game to be playing so passively. I think because it's 51 minutes in, they're actually recognizing that the gold is, or the overall effectiveness of both of these teams is still pretty close. And one mistake could actually mean the game, despite them playing pretty solidly throughout.
But Fnatic are doing a great job. They keep on keeping those waves clear. Look down the bottom, big wave there from Fnatic. Someone from Lemondogs will have to go down and deal with that shortly. Top lane, big wave up there as well. So Fnatic have kept everything clear. Soaz has been that strong tank in that mid lane, not too worried about Lemondogs being around him. And there is a big amount of wards from Fnatic, so they have a very good defensive position right now.
Fnatic has done a fantastic job of keeping the wards up without dying. Yellow Star is actually mainly to be credited with that. There's been a lot of times before where Nuke Duck was just trying to kill him, and that's one of the big reasons Lemondogs pulled ahead in this game. But since then, since Lemondogs has never actually been able to deny vision from Fnatic through wards or from just Hawkshot from Pushu, it's been stalling this game quite significantly. It's got to be up to 8 or 9 minutes now without actual contention.
Nuke Duck about to show himself in the bottom lane. Let's see what Fnatic do from this one. They quickly rush in there and they want to sweep out all of these wards. They may even try and get the Baron because he's going to have to run a hell of a long way to get that to distance.
He sees them, and Fnatic doesn't know how close he is, but they're chancing it. They're hoping that Lemondogs overcommits here so they can maybe catch something. They have to get some Banshee's Veils down before they can go in big.
There's the Destiny. Soaz is going to be the man that takes all that front-loaded damage, and there's not a great deal of it. And they passively back away. True Shot Barrage actually landing across them. Lemondogs are going to try and split and push straight for the inhibitors.
Exactly. This may have actually started something. They know there's an Ash Arrow down now. They know the position of the majority of Fnatic, which means they know how much time they have to run mid lane here. They can at least get a head start. Soaz does have teleport. He might choose to go in, but Lemondogs pushing this one Banshee's Veil down. This could be a fight.
This could be the first inhibitor going down for Lemondogs. They're going to try and get on towards it. Can they get on towards Fnatic's inhib? The Tabs is doing the work right now. It's only going to need another hit from Zoro. There it is. Dexter goes in Cataclysm, but Soaz gets on towards Unstoppable Force. Crescendo locking up Dexter and Mithy, but it's not really the damage they want. Yellowstar does go down. Zoro and Zonya's Hourglass counteracts a lot. Pushu is down. That is a big deal. Fnatic in trouble here. That's going to be Nuke Duck taking down Soaz. The big tank goes down. Cyanide in trouble. He's going to get caught out. Tabs locking him up. Dexter slides in. It's Tabs that picks up the kill. Peke, the only man standing, but all of those Banshee's Veils completely countering anything he can do against Lemondogs, and Lemondogs will take themselves their first win in this final. It's going to be 2-1. Lemondogs are not done with yet.
They absolutely ripped apart Fnatic in that last fight. They certainly waited a while, but they were substantially stronger by the end of that. That's why that 4-0 fight gives them a victory and extends their chances of being number 1.
So fantastic stuff. It is a best of 5, remember, ladies and gentlemen, because This is going to be a long night, I believe, Jack, because these guys want to be the #1 seed in Europe. They want that group advantage that they will gain. Fnatic started off so well.
Yeah.
9-3-5 for Fnatic, for Peke, sorry, at one point. Ended up 9-4-7, completely counteracted by those Banshee's Veils, finally itemizing to just basically stop the big kill point that Fnatic had.
Yeah, it had to get late enough. And when we saw the picks and bans, we knew Fnatic was going to try to play mainly the same strategy, but it would have to be more focused than before.